RPGaDay 2018. Today is day 25, and the question for today is, what game has had an impact on you in the last 12 months? This one's quite an easy one for me to answer. It's got to be Conan. I've already sung its praises a lot. I've talked about the momentum mechanic and how that works, and why I think that's really good. I think that single mechanic's really elegant, but I think the thing that impresses me the most about 2D20 is, and I said this yesterday a bit about Ubiquity, it simulates genre really well, and it seems to simulate different genres really well. I was really looking forward to Conan, and I'd run through the quick start rules, the early versions of the rules, and I thought, yeah, this is a game I really want to play. And then they announced they were doing Star Trek in 2D20, and that I looked at and I just thought, I can't see how you're going to take something that does Conan this well and get it to do something as cerebral as Star Trek and still keep it really good. It's going to be a bit of an odd mix. And I haven't I've played one short session of Star Trek, but I know people that have played it. And the small, maybe not quite so small rules tweaks they've done, it's still the core system's still the same. The little tweaks have really managed to make it simulate Star Trek as a genre. And the thing that I really like about the Conan game is that it simulates the Conan genre, the gritty swords and sorcery, the pulpy version of Lovecraft set in prehistory. It does that really, really well. It allows you to build stories that feel like Robert E. Howard could have written them. It lets you come up with those kind of scenarios, and the outcomes feel like they would come from those books. And that's a rare thing. That's a difficult thing to do. There's a lot of games where you go, okay, yeah, no, we'll just put it in a different setting, we'll tweak it slightly, and you end up with, you know, in a lot of cases, if you tweak D&D, for example, and you go, okay, we'll tweak D&D and we'll get it to try and do this, it still feels like D&D. Quite a lot of games are like that. You tweak them, you try and do something different with them, they still feel very much like the same game. It's just got a different skin on it. Conan 2D20 somehow manages to really feel like Conan, and that's a difficult thing to do. I'm not the world's biggest Conan scholar, but I can make my Conan game have real Robert E. Howard feel to it in places. Not all the time, I'm not that great at it, but sometimes I get that absolutely bang on. So I really like that. Other little bits and pieces, because I think that's the key thing for it. But other little bits and pieces are, it's one of the few games I've played where different weapons genuinely feel different. A sword in play does not feel like an axe, does not feel like a whip. It's one of the few games I've seen where people actually bother to use a shield to shield bash someone. And the reason is, it works differently than a sword. It doesn't just do less damage, it does different damage. And I've come across games that have tried to do that before, but generally they've been really complicated in play. And you know, Phoenix Command, my brother had a game called Phoenix Command, and we always used to joke that the thing that really took the time was working out what the wind speed was so that you could understand what that did to the trajectory of the bullets. It was ridiculously complicated to play. Conan manages to make different weapons feel different, feel unique, without making it particularly complicated to play. It's got a bit of a steep learning curve, but once you're there, it just flows, and it's quite fast, and it doesn't feel laborious, which is always a good thing in a game in my books. It also allows players to decide how much they want to risk in different situations. Is this something they have to do? Is it something they'd quite like to do? Are they invested in it? Are they not invested in it? How important is it to them? Which again means that you can be making bigger in-character decisions, better in-character decisions, without it means you can make better in-character decisions. You don't have to either completely throw yourself at something or just do it a little bit. You can choose how much investment you've got. And I like that. I really, really like that. I think that brings a lot to the table. You end up with a lot of ebb and flow in combat. Again, this comes back to it feels like Conan. It's possible for one side to have the upper hand and then a minute later for the other side to have the upper hand without one side feeling completely overpowered. So yeah, Conan, that's been the game that I mean, I've been running it now for well over a year, and I'm really enjoying it, and I'm still looking forward to running it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else I can do with it, and talking to my players about, well, okay, what kind of plots do you want to see? You know, it will run a proper thieves campaign where you're all thieves and cutthroats working in the underbelly of society. It will run pirate games. It will run games based around mercenaries going out and doing things between battles, during battles, etc., etc. You can run barbarian campaigns. It seems to have a lot of breadth and a lot of depth. Yeah, I'm going to stop now because otherwise I'm just going to ramble on about how good it is. But I have really enjoyed the system. There's things about the way the books are written that I'm not that keen on, but I really like what I've got, and I'm the more I play it and the more I try stretching the legs a bit, the more I'm finding that it's a system that I can see myself still playing in 10 years time and really enjoying. So yeah, 2D20 Conan, I think that's the one that's had the most impact on me in the last year. Talk to you tomorrow.